Hey, how we doing? I'm Andy, this is Spiders. Thanks for coming and watching. So today I'm got a pairing for you. This is the Orphnaecus with the dodgy name. It's the one from the island of Negros in the Philippines, I think it is, or Malaysia, not the Philippines. So yeah, these are a really cool species, if I'm honest. You don't sort of see a great deal of them. There was a lot of slings made available last year, but other than that I haven't seen them anywhere for a long time. It's something a few people know. I've been trying to breed this one for a couple of years. I sort of ended up with a mature male in a mystery box a couple of years ago. Tried to buy a female from Poland. I had to wait 3 months for it to get posted, and then Europe went into lockdown the day after she hit the mailbox, and she never made it. So don't know if you can hear that. I do apologise. We've got these hisses having a hissy fit by the sounds of it there, like. But yeah, so like I say, there was some slings or sort of grown on slings available last year from the spider shop, and I got myself a few, and I've managed to acquire another adult female since, so I've got 4 of these at the moment. The mature male and one female that molted sort of the week after Christmas. So she's been fed up and really sort of got her in good condition, ready to try this pairing. But anyway, I'm going to talk all the way through this because I've done a voiceover on this one, so I'm just going to shut up because you're going to hear enough of me anyway, and I'll catch you all at the end. Cheers. Ta-ra. Yeah, so here we have our male. I'd already caught him up. He's a little bit mental. Go for a bit of a runner, and as you see there, he basically rolled into her enclosure. Now I've got to admit, at this point I wasn't sure if she might just come flying out and eat him. Now we just sat there for a few minutes, and then as you see, he slowly made his way towards a burrow entrance. Now, we hadn't shown any signs of communication with her at this point, so I was a bit wary of him going down into a burrow in case she nailed him in there. So I decided to, as you see here, just nudge him back a little bit, which I'm glad I did, because as you'll see now, we get the first signs of that communication. You see those pedipalps going. I do apologise for the light over the next minute or so. I was using my LED just to shine down the burrow and see if I could actually see her making her way up or not. So yeah, he decided he wanted to go in, and I just thought maybe there was nothing I could do about it, and I'd just leave it. So you can see here, his body is always twitching. You see his pedipalps aren't quite moving yet. You can see through his legs and his abdomen, constantly twitching, so he's just letting a noise there. And there she is. She's well aware. Now, she did come up quite quickly, but you'll see, it wasn't aggression. She was fed a big Mario worm the morning or the day before this pairing took place, so I knew she should be okay for food. And now you see his pedipalps. And again, as you see, it's quite common with Asian species, I think, or Asian fossorials especially. The pedipalps are shaking, but they're not necessarily doing the tapping onto the web. So it is, you see there. vibrations through the webs, but the pedipalps, it's just all for show, I suppose. So at this point I already knew, or had already gathered, that she was definitely up for the pairing, because you know, these can be quite a feisty species, and I did worry that she might, as I said earlier, that she might just come out and nail him right from the off. But as you can see here, she isn't really doing much in the way of responding, but the fact that she hasn't nailed him yet I took as a good sign. You see there? Now I'll show you, this is why she disappeared so quickly. I tried to move my other camera slightly, and in doing so I must have sent a vibration through the tub that these enclosures were sat in, and she just disappeared. So he was left to start all over again. I'm sure at this point, as well as the vibration to try and get her back out, he was sort of looking towards me as if to say, "You prick, I've got to start all this again." Pedipalps just kept going. He never stopped, even when she ran back down a burrow. Once he sort of started with his vibrating, he never really stopped. Again, I think he's looking at me, saying, "Do you know how much hard work it was to get her out here in the first place and not get eaten? If I get eaten now, it's totally your fault, Watson." And you may just see, there we are, you see her legs. So she's calmed down enough now to show some more interest in him. This girl has recently molted, and you will see here that as we look at it, the right pedipalp looks a bit smaller than the other one, so I'm not sure if maybe that one was smaller when she arrived and it's regenerating. I'll have to look back at the rehousing footage just to double check that. Again, you see, it never stops. With that constant vibration, that moving, just slowly drawing her out of the burrow. Also looking at me and saying, "Don't dare move that camera." Slowly she comes out of the burrow and we get a good chance to see her in all her glory. And then as soon as she's out far enough, he's in. And what I did find really interesting, as you see there, he's got his second leg on her abdomen. Now watch this bit here, you may see just behind the joint of his first leg there. Somehow I think she's hyperextended his front leg and split the joint on the underneath. It's the only thing looking at the footage that I can see. Now you can see some of that has transferred to her, but there's no damage to her at this point. Although the damage to him doesn't really seem to be affecting him. You see he's stretching through, just seeking out the epigastric furrow. You see both of those front legs are still tapping. There you go. It's interesting that she lifts her abdomen right up and then he uses his second legs just to push her back down. And I notice throughout this pairing, the second legs, as you see there, they're either on her abdomen or hooked around her back legs, as if he's almost drawn her in. So he's just searching for her epigastric furrow there. Now if I'm honest, I was watching this, I didn't dare set up another camera in case she ran again. You can see some of the, is it the hemolymph, hemoglobin, I'm not sure, hemo. And both of them. Another good view of it there. But yeah, each time she lifted her abdomen, like this here, he'd reach through. And then it almost looked from the angle that I had like he was getting the insertion, and then it was the insertion that was actually pulling her back down. Now you see here, goes back down, and each time she lifted her abdomen it was almost like she was opening that epigastric furrow for him, and then he'd reach through, and then again you'll see he almost pulls her with that second leg, pulling her back in from behind her legs. And then using that leg just to really push her abdomen back down. Now at this point there was a definite insertion. I was watching from the side and I could see this, and you see there's like a final little lean, almost like a pull on his part here, just before they separate. And then you'll see he got a little bit clubland, and then got a bit aggressive at the end of the night. Sounds like a typical nightclub in Wrexham. But you see, really nice looking male. And now he's survived to last another day. Oh shit, has he? There's this from another angle. Why would he go down? So, what do you reckon? Fair play. That was quite an interesting pairing. Of all the pairings I've done, that was probably the coolest one to watch. Just the way that he used his second pair of legs just to sort of control her all the way through. I haven't seen that in the other pairings that I've done in the past. Like some of them have just been in and out, like the Porky and that, but the Balfouri was really chilled and that, so, and the Diamantinensis and that have all gone well. But this one, I don't know, it was just a lot more interesting. If I'm honest, there seemed to be a lot more to watch than some of the ones I've done in the past. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we're going to end up with an egg sac out of this. I have got another female that I may try and pair this guy with before he goes out on loan over the course of the next week or so, and then, you know, if he comes back we'll have a look at the situation and see how things are gone. We may look at pairing him with this girl again if she hasn't dropped a sack by then, like. So yeah, like I say, I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If you fancy subscribing, you know, everything's down the bottom downstairs. Just click the buttons, all the links and the likes and all that sort of stuff. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers. Ta-ra.